What's up, my dudes? It's a Vigorous Q&A again after my long holiday to Koh Samui. I actually wanted to do this last weekend. I scheduled in a 1-hour Vigorous Q&A about 11 o'clock instead of 12 o'clock, which I usually do. And then push came to shove, and I had to pack my bag and all that stuff, and I realized I had to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning because we flew at 9:40. So I decided to cancel that 1-hour podcast from last weekend, so we're here to make it up. I just got back yesterday, and here we are again, back to work. So, Vigorous Q&A is right in effect. We got a couple updates. I did the Nile Niga and Tanner Tattered podcast. It's linked down below. Actually, I linked their YouTube channel. I'll link it properly after the show's concluded. So give that one a watch if you want to see something interesting, some discussions about pharmacology, what's correct and what's not correct. I had a blast talking to those guys. Nell actually came to Thailand for about a week, but he was in Phuket, PP, and I think he went to Chiang Mai as well, but he's already back home. So he didn't swing by Bangkok, and he was so busy with friends that I felt it was inappropriate to interject and fly to Phuket just to say hi. So I'll see him at the Arnold Classic. And then at Koh Samui, I talked a little bit with Urs Kalsinski at the gym. I think he's coming to Bangkok sometime tomorrow, but I'm not sure if I'll see him again. We'll probably see everybody at the Arnold Classic in March. And Dennis James is still roaming around here somewhere. I think he's back in Pattaya now. He did Chiang Mai, Shanghai, I think. He's having a blast. He's here long term. I might see him at the Burapa Bike Week, which is in about 3 weeks from now. He'll probably still be here. So we'll see if we can catch up with Dennis James. I mean, Thailand is getting very popular for everybody's travel destination, so I can highly recommend it. A little birdie told me that Primo is being restocked. It's being brewed as we speak. So some of the sources that I work with, they're slowly restocking their Primo and Masteron batches. That's Masteron Propionate, Masteron Enethate, and the Primo Enethate, obviously. So those are slowly being restocked. So ready your wallet. This is all properly tested, otherwise they put it on their list. They wouldn't have a drought for such a long time. So when Primo's in stock, it's real Primo. Check out the source list so you know where to get it. And it should arrive pretty soon. And the GLP-1s, remember those GLP closeout sales from last year? And everybody got their panties all up in a bunch? Guess that was a fluke. So for 1 or 2 weeks, Monoaminos and Omega Aminos and a couple of the other affiliates, they took their GLP-1s down. So no semaglutide, no liraglutide, no dulaglutide, no tirzepatide, no retatrutide, no cagrilinotide even, because there was a mass panic. And everybody's like, oh, we got to take this off the list. And then nothing happened. Nothing happened. So they put it back. Discount code still works. Code Vigorous at either of the affiliates. And you can get your GLP-1s ready to order. Now, how long that will take, if there were going to be any changes, I'm not entirely sure, but it turned out to be a bit of a fluke. No repercussions for anybody. So, yeah, they're right back on the list, and it's time to buy a little bit if you didn't stock up before Christmas. Gorilla does Creatine Gummies for sale. Link down below. Those are third-party tested, so those Creatine Gummies actually have, I think, 5.5 or a little bit over 5 grams of creatine per creatine gummy. I haven't tried them myself. Usually when I try gummies, it contains something else. Guess from the shirt what it is. And it just takes a while to get to Thailand. So when I get my batch, I'll rate them flavor-wise. And then I might take 2 creatine gummies post-workout per day to replace my creatine monohydrate at 10 grams per day. And Intelligent Shop has a 20% to 60% sale off Minoxidil. So give that a look-see if you're into hair loss prevention. I am not, as you can clearly tell. Let's look at this mosquito bite. Island mosquito bite. Dude, the mosquitoes on Koh Samui are like this big. And then when they bite you, it's well, I have a few more, but this is the life. So, those are the updates. Yeah, I'll remove the Primo restock. You guys are well aware now. And yeah, let's get into the questions. But first, we got to play that disclaimer, bro. Oh, here we go. What happened to the last Q&A? Why was it hidden? So last week I wanted to do a quick 1-hour Q&A before I left for holiday. Instead of starting at 12 o'clock, it's like 12:05 right now, midnight. Yes, time zones, bro. I wanted to start one at 11, so just a quick 1 hour, and then maybe stay awake for 30 minutes, and then go to bed at 12:30. Wake up at 5. But I realized I wasn't gonna make it, and this trip was a little bit more important than the Q&A. You guys can wait. So that's what happened to last week Q&As. But we're right back to do it again. Hit the like button. Yeah, that would be highly appreciated. Hit the like button so we can get this shit in the algorithm. Benjamin. Does meal timing matter, especially with the last workout shake? With the post-workout shake with collagen type 1 and 3. Yes, meal timing matters a lot. You want maybe fast-acting carbohydrates pre- and post-workout, and a slow-digesting carbohydrates, perhaps with a lowering glycemic index over the day, because in the beginning of the day, during the day, you might need some carbohydrates that are fast-acting so you can get your energy levels up and your metabolism going. As you lay in bed, even though your metabolism speeds up at certain points during the night, it's better to have a slow digesting carbohydrates with low glycemic index. And it's the same with protein timing, right? You might want some fast digesting carbs in the morning, like eggs, for example, with a high bioavailability. That's what it's called, right? Maybe some whey protein in there. Even higher bioavailability. So you have those amino acids in your system right away to start the anabolic process. And protein synthesis and all that kind of stuff. And then later in the day, you might want some steak or salmon before bed with the added fats. Make it harder to digest, so that steak or salmon or both, right? You can combine those food sources. Digest a little bit slower and longer over the night, so you get this amino acid drip over the night and continue the anabolic process, because leucine and isoleucine and valine are coming in for protein synthesis. And then the collagen is glycine for collagen synthesis. So you could take the collagen post-workout, obviously. You could also take it a little bit later in the day. I take collagen with essential amino acids, which have leucine, isoleucine, and valine to start protein synthesis. And the collagen type 1 and 3 has glycine to start the collagen synthesis. So you get protein synthesis, collagen synthesis, which is protein synthesis, but a more specialized, specific form of a protein synthesis. For that, you need glycine in a certain ratio with the other amino acids. So you can take both. So you got both pathways covered. You got basically all-inclusive protein synthesis and a very specialized protein synthesis, meaning collagen synthesis. So I would take it post-workout. And it's usually another time that you want something easy to digest in the form of a shake. So yeah, I take it then. And then you get collagen from, guess what? Beef, salmon, chicken, eggs, all contain collagen, albeit not in the highest amounts. I followed your advice and fasted for 3 days. Fuck real mental challenge. Do 5.5 days. 3 days is easy. The last day, dude. Opening the cupboards, looking for food. When you fast, Steve, do you take cardarine or mirabegron or something else to amplify fat loss? I take the whole shebang. Yeah, I take the whole shebang when I'm fasting, because fasting is partially for fat loss, partially to reset the digestion and excrete some extra toxins. We're not taking any toxins in besides the fat burners. And just to reset cravings. So you reset cravings by not eating any food, create some willpower, even though retatrutide is taking care of that, obviously. And then you use the fat burners to not make you go hypo, like mirabegron and growth hormone and anything else that liberates fatty acids. And then you take the cardarine and carnitine and soboterol and whatever else to actually boost metabolism and increase fat loss. So you take a fat liberating agent and a fat burning agent at the same time. Good stuff. Welcome to the Vigorous crew, bro. What's up? Let's see how many questions you're going to shell us. 175 test E, 35 Primo per week. That little Primo. So I got one vial left, bro. I'm going to make it last. Are you sure about that? That's like 0.35 cc's. Man, I'm sweating my balls off. I don't know why. I'm nervous. And I got to blast the air conditioning a little bit more. And this air conditioning was just cleaned, so I'm not sure what's going on. Experiencing erection problems. Haven't had a chance for blood work yet. Thoughts? I think your Primo dose is too low, and I have no idea why you would have erection problems without doing blood work. So we're fucking in the dark here with a softie. right? And we discussed this so many times before. Are you on a low-fat diet? Are you eating a low-calorie food diet? Did your wife get morbidly obese? You never know, right? Are you highly stressed? School, work, the news, turn it all off. There's a million different reasons why you can't get good erections anymore. And based on this cycle, I would say it's unlikely, but your blood work would tell us more. So, long story short, go do some fucking blood work. Check your hormone panel, your prolactin, your testosterone, your SHBG, your estradiol, your DHT while you're at it, your DHA sulfate, your pregnenolone, some of the metabolic markers, complete blood count, the B vitamins, iron levels, help with neurotransmitter synthesis, including dopamine, and that is also good for libido. So and erections. So yeah, do some blood work and then come back to us. Hey bro, thanks for the advice. I dropped carbs out and have been pulling the fat off like crazy. Just added Mirabicron 100 milligrams daily and 20 milligrams Clenbuterol. Results are great. Thank you. Oh, there you go. And look at that thumbnail, dude. This guy's jacked. This guy's jacked. He can wear like a blouse to the beach, and then you open the shirt, and you see like, oh, he has a nice physique, and then the wind blows, and you see this crazy ass tattoo. You're like, holy shit, this guy's this guy's a Yakuza. Benjamin, today we'll have the mother of all cheat meals and all-you-can-eat restaurant. 20 milligrams. We're gonna have a serious talk, Benjamin. I told you about this. You need to stop with the binging and purging. Why don't you follow a diet that I wrote for you and just stay consistent? You're all over the place. I don't know what's going on with you, bro, but you're all over the place. I'm not going to tell you. You are all over the place, and it needs to stop. Hey, Steve, my super chat was skipped last time. Okay, that happens. Is it because I closed the Vigorous Q&A when I said no more super chats, like this? You have the banners, right? No more super chats because I want to go to bed. It's been 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So I don't know. Post it again. See what happens. He's got a lot of questions today, but no question in the chat. Okay, well, we'll look forward to it. I thought Dennis James got kicked out of Thailand a long time ago. Thai police set him up or something. Yeah, it's a long story. He explained it to me, but I think it's better if Dennis James tells you guys that. No official reports were ever made, and he got back into Thailand problem-free. So yeah, whatever you heard on the news, there might be some hints of truth, but it's definitely not the full story. And I was bamboozled by that shit as well. So yeah, I think Dennis James should tell that story of what happened. And he got into Thailand worry-free, no problems with it all, man. No problems at all. He's got a visa, he's got a bank account, everything is fine. No criminal record, nothing whatsoever. So the news is not always, well, surprise, surprise. The news isn't always correct. Is it better to take HCG daily or 3 times a week alongside HRT to maintain testosterone? Same weekly total for both, 1100-ish I use. I prefer 3 times a week or every other day because based on the research that I've done, it seemed that the fertility parameters were better with 3 times a week or every other day injections. I kind of forgot if it was 3 times per week or every other. I think it was every other day in the scientific evidence. And it's probably due to the peaks and values, right? So HCG through subcutaneous administration has a 24-hour half-life, and you probably want a little bit of a peak to really activate the receptors, and then a trough to resensitize the receptors, or aka make new receptors, and then stimulate this surplus of receptors again with a surplus dose. So pulsatile HCG 3 times a week or every other day seems to work better than every single day. Because again, it's working on a receptor that it needs to initiate testosterone synthesis. It's not like you need to stimulate the androgen receptor that works on protein synthesis and anabolism. It's a completely different mechanism, right? HCG is a hormone that produces hormones. Just like growth hormone secretagogues are hormones that produce hormones. It's not testosterone that produces skeletal muscle and hair and rage and boners. And it's something different. Something different entirely. All right, here we go. Super chat time. 50-year-old male, currently on TRT plus, 90 milligrams testosterone antidote, 80 milligrams Primo every other day. So that's what? How much per week? We like weekly dosages here. Times 3.5, so that's 315 tests. And 80 times 3.5 is 280, 315. 595 milligrams per week. Well, that's TRT plus. But, or is he injecting every other day this weekly total? Because his blood show total testosterone of 625 and an SHG of 23.5. LDL and HDL in range. Triglycerides 1. All right, and so he's taking, 315 tests, and he wants to increase it to 420. And what was it? He wants to increase the Primo to 520 per week for 12 weeks. Well, again, this is a classic case of underdosed gear, because total testosterone of 625. And then SHBG is a little bit on the low side for a natural, but that total testosterone looks like you're taking 90 milligrams testosterone per week and no Primo. Because your SHBG would be lower on the Primo if you were actually taking Primo, and your HDL would not be in range. So I would change your source and not increase your drugs until you actually have a legitimate source. I have a source list with legitimate sources that check all of their raws and all of their batches before they produce anything. And if you see something out of stock, it's because they can't get the raws. And they don't replace it with test probe like some of the other sources. Oh, we got everything in stock. Primabol and Enethate or methadone and Enethate contains test probe. It's in stock. Master Enethate, test probe. Testosterone Enethate, test probe. All right, so go with a source that has had a drought for a while, and then suddenly it's back with a certificate of analysis or another third-party testing. But this looks totally wrong to me for what you're running. So I wouldn't increase anything until you find a legitimate source, and you'll probably make gains just by switching labs. Because now you have underdosed gear, or maybe you're even natural, you're just injecting oil, and then you're going to a lab with actual gear, and now you suddenly start to get those tier 3 plus results. I got Primo last month from your Control F list. Should I trust or test it? Starting third cycle, testing Primo. What should I add? Jesus Christ, what I was sometimes always so hard to read. If it's on my source list, it's good to believe, or you should trust it, because all those guys that I know that are on my source list, they third-party test everything before they produce batches. But feel free to test it. Feel free to send it to Yano Shake or somewhere else, and then see how you respond, or see how the results come back before you make any changes. And you're starting a third cycle. You're bulking with test and Primo. What should I add to pack on muscle with food, of course? Cycle will be 16-20 weeks. Growth hormone, Anavar. And it depends on your preference, man. Don't ask me. There's so many drugs, and based on this little chat, I can't tell you how you're going to respond. So I would look into the drug profile of everything that you're interested in, and maybe Anavar is not for you. Maybe you like Turinabol. Okay, try Turinabol. Maybe you don't like growth hormone due to the water retention. Maybe you're young. Maybe you need a growth hormone secretagogue, like MK677. Or ipamorelin and tesamorelin combination, right? I can't tell you what to take with limited information. You need to come with very specific answers on what do you think about this, and then I can adjust it for you. But yeah, I don't know how old you are, what your experience is. So, and I, personally, if it was me, I would add in the Anavar and GH. But I'm not you, so you're gonna have to do what's best for you and come with more specific questions. Hey Steve, been running daily intramuscular 25 milligrams testosterone for 3 weeks, no AI. Estradiol came back at 15.9. Is that picograms per milliliter? Sounds low. Better results, or is it possible to be that low? SFG 5.7, total testosterone level 63, 460, body fat percent 13%. No, it sounds like you're a low aromatizer. But then again, testosterone enthate might take about 4 or 5 weeks to really reach peak serum concentration. So at 175 milligrams testosterone enthate, your total testosterone is 1200 with an SHBG of 6. Sounds about right. Could be a little bit higher, but then again, when SHBG is low, you would expect a lot of aromatization into estradiol, unless you get a lot of conversion into ditestosterone, which acts as an aromatase inhibitor and lowers SHBG quite substantially. So if estradiol is low in this context, total testosterone is reasonable, it's very likely that you're a high DHT derivative or DHT converter, so a lot of 5-alpha reductase activity. And this high DHT, which you can always test with blood work, is to confirm this what is it called? Hypothesis. You can confirm this hypothesis with blood work. But based on this, I would say that you're a high DHT converter instead of a high aromatizer. And the DHT is preventing the conversion of testosterone into estradiol. Because again, DHT inhibits the aromatizer enzyme, and thus testosterone can't go in and convert into estradiol. And I believe that DHT also does something on the receptor side where it prevents the estradiol from expressing to its full potential in certain tissues. Not all, but in breast tissue, that's certainly the case. And I believe that Dr. Dean said it was just due to using some of the same cofactors between the androgen receptors and the estrogen alpha and beta receptors. So DHT goes in, takes the cofactors away from the estrogen receptors, and thus estradiol can't express to its full potential. Besides that, serum estradiol levels are lower due to the anti-estrogenic effects by inhibiting the aromatase enzyme instead of testosterone. So please check your DHT levels, and then it's very likely that they're significantly elevated, which could mean hair loss in your case. Good GLP-1 antagonist help for bulking, eating more, not an agonist. Yes, but you need GLP agonism for insulin secretion from the pancreas. So I don't even know if there's GLP-1 receptor antagonists out there that could, prevent the effects of GLP-1, glucagon-like. Man, what was it? Oh, fucking drawing a blank here. This is what happens after a week of chilling out in the lounge chairs. GLP-1, glucagon-like peptide 1. Shit, man, it's late. I've been waking up at 8 o'clock in the morning instead of 12. So I don't even know if there's antagonists out there, but if there's an antagonist out there, I would think that you're missing out on this insulinotropic effect in the pancreas, which is something that GLP-1 and GIP2, both in combination regulate. And then you're bulking, but then you have poor glucose homeostasis. And maybe it speeds up gastric emptying to the point that food enters your intestinal tract so fast, but it's not been properly broken down yet with the acid in your stomach. So, not sure. I would have to look into this, but the basic human biology tells me that it's not a good idea. Good morning, Daddy Steve. Thank you for all the knowledge you spread. Knowledge and spreads. Knowledge you spread. Question: a company released GLP-1 today, Megatrutide. Is it legit? Well, I know Chase Irons, Omegatide has, Omega Aminos has Omegatide, which is GLP-1, GIP, glucagon, and cagrilintide. Now, is this other company releasing a similar product? Is it legit? I'm not sure. All right. Metatrutide, is it legit? They work with a lot of big affiliates. I want to know if it's like bioglutide or not. No, bioglutide had IGF-1, and the GLP-1 or the GLP-4 that's out there is GLP-1, GIP, glucagon, and cagrilintide. So that's instead of activating the IGF-1 receptor, which again, bioglutide turned out to be a fluke. It doesn't exist and will never come to market. It's just a scam, basically, to get funding or something like that, from a known scammer and a company that fabricated scientific evidence based on retatrutide studies. Those clinical trials never took place, besides on somebody's keyboard. But the cagrilintide, the amylin receptor agonism, that's a thing, right? You can buy cagrilintide separately or buy it in this combination medication with the other three pathways, basically. So you can get it from Omega Aminos or this company. I'd rather have you get it from Omega Aminos, because then you can use my code Vigorous, and save yourself 10%. Give me a kickback. Much appreciated. A Metatrutide, I'm not really sure who's selling that, but yeah, you could try and compare, see which one works better for you. I didn't like cagrilintide myself. I took 0.5 milligram 3 times per week, and it made me so lethargic that I actually started increasing my food intake to get me out of that lethargic state, which helped to a certain extent. And then I realized what I was doing. I was like, man, why I'm so tired? And why do I want to eat like simple sugars the whole time just to give me a sense of energy on this ketogenic diet? So I was just eating fruits, and then it turned into some Oreos and gummy bears and that kind of shit. And it's like, man, I better stop the cagrilintide. I just stopped the cagrilintide, and my cravings went away, and my energy levels increased. So it's not for everybody, right? That's why I moved it down, very far down on the scientific deep dive schedule. Even I'm working on the SS31 schedule or deep dive now, but it's been a minute since I really had time to sit down. It involves parenthood. Oh yes, people say that they're parents and then they go to work 8 hours a day. It's not really being involved. It's not what I do. I put parenthood first and then work. Luckily, I'm in a position that I can afford that. So give it a try. Or try Omega Tide from Chase Hirons, from Omega Aminos. A lot of people have been using that, and they said they had a good result. So give either a try and let us know. How much of a difference would it make taking 3.125 milligrams Aromasin daily versus 6.25 milligrams every other day? Well, you're increasing the dose. Okay, so you're taking the same dose daily versus every other day. I don't think it would make much of a difference, because the active life of Aromasin is what was it? I think it has a 5-day half-life. And then the active life is, the detection time was, a month or 2 weeks? I'm drawing a little bit of blank. I'm not at my 100% capacity, clearly. I'm doing my best here. Need to get back into work mode. But I don't think it would make a difference. I don't think it would make a difference, because blood levels should be reasonably similar. And again, just because you're flooding it every other day doesn't mean that you get more receptor inactivation. Or if, listen to me, Jesus Christ, dude. Aromatase enzyme deactivation by having temporarily increased serum levels. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that if you flood the system with a higher dose every other day, that the aromatase enzymes are deactivated faster. Again, aromasin is a suicide inhibitor. It goes into the aromatase enzymes and gets stuck, and thus they don't work. But let me see. What is the half-life? Half-life aromasin. Now I need to know. 24 hours. Let's see. Clearance of about 4 to 5 days, and then aroma as enzyme. Uh, 12 to 24 hours. I think daily dosages is better. Because if you do every other dose, every other day, then you allow the aromatase enzymes to build up, even though it's still active, obviously, but at half the dose, because the half-life is 24 hours. So if you take 6.25 milligrams every other day, then the next time it's... No, then the next day it's half the dose, 3.125 milligrams. So it should inhibit it just as same thing. It doesn't matter. Same thing. Been on methylene blue for about 5 days now, 5 milligrams in the morning. Haven't noticed any benefits, anything I'm doing wrong, or suggestions. Increase the dose to 10 milligrams. See if you notice a benefit there. And again, methylene blue will only work if you're in a healthy state and your mitochondria are receptive. If you have mitochondrial dysregulation, then methylene blue might not be enough for you. Maybe you need MOTC, maybe you need SLS31, maybe you need SLU PP332 to contribute to mitochondrial function and biogenesis, and then give yourselves 3 months for the methylene blue to really have a pronounced effects. Again, it acts as a redox agent and an electron donor and helps with oxidative stress and ATP synthesis. But if you don't really have that much mitochondria and they're not I should stop this fucking live stream, no? I'm not present at all. If they're not operating on full capacity, then methylene blue is not going to do much. So maybe you need to give yourself more time. I would try 10 milligrams for a couple days and then order the SLU, the MODC, and the SS31 in the meantime, and then see what happens when you stack all four. Because when you stack all four, it's a pronounced difference. Welcome back, Steve. Just got in from Mexico City last night myself. DM me the info for your mail forwarder. I will get this mask to you soon. Okay, please shoot me an Instagram message because I get buried with like 500 DMs every single day. But I did see your mask. It looked really, really cool. I can't remember your username, and I would have to scroll like an hour or something before I find your message again. So heavy reset went to one of those Mexican wrestling events, and then he bought me one of those what is it, Mucho Libre masks, which looks really, really cool. So if you can make it to the Honor Classic, please mail it over, but DM me first and I'll send you the shipping forwarder address in Oregon, and then they can ship it to Thailand, because I don't know what the address is for our place in what is it called, Columbus, Ohio, because it's an Airbnb that we're staying in. I'm not even sure if I should give the address because I'm not the one renting it. So, yeah, let's chat on Instagram, bro. But much appreciated. Again, really cool mask that you selected. I can't wait to wear it. I scared the wife. Steve, I'm a high aromatizer currently running sub-Q, 45 milligrams testosterone annotated, 45 milligrams EQ. I want to try a low dose MENT, maybe 5 milligrams daily. Should I lower my T or add in an AI? Total test is 1200, 14 nanograms per deciliter. Estradiol is at 41. Yeah, so if you want to do 5 milligrams daily, I would drop the test to 40 milligrams. Just replace the equal amount of testosterone for an equal amount of MENT, and then check your blood work a little bit later. But 5 milligrams MENT is 35 milligrams per week. It's a bit on the low side, but you should notice a difference. And again, 7-alpha-methyl estradiol might not detect as regular estradiol. If you do a sensitive test, obviously it won't detect, but if you do a sensitive test like liquid chromatography, tandem mass spectrometry, and a regular CMIA test for estradiol, then you can kind of compare. Now, other stuff will detect as estradiol as well, like esterone would detect as estradiol. So what is 7-alpha-methyl estradiol? What is esterone? You don't really know, but then you can see a discrepancy between both of those readings and then kind of guesstimate what is what. But yeah, I would do that. If you're not looking for more anabolism, then 40 milligrams test E, 5 milligrams MENT, to 45 milligrams EQ, sub-Q daily would be a good start. And you can always bump up the dose to 10 milligrams, 25 milligrams MENT, and then take it from there, I ended up at 150 milligrams MENT, and I absolutely loved it. No AI, no Mastro, no Primo, no Proviron, no nothing. Just, YK11, obviously, that acts as an aromatase inhibitor also. Or at least lowers estradiol. And 600 test, 600 DECA, 150 MENT, 150 Tren, 210 YK11. Oh, man. That was one hell of a cycle. Hey, Steve. Hey, Steve. Congrats on the kid. I got 55 and under, so I may skip the fertilization video. What? Or I got 5. Okay. Have you or anyone tried the injectable Cardarine and ITPP from MA? Easy injection. I got the injectable ITPP right here. The injectable Cardarine, I haven't tried, but oral Cardarine works just fine for me. I know that ITPP orally is not that bioavailable, so a lot of people take it sublingually. And I tried sublingual and oral. I did not notice a difference, honestly, between both. But again, it takes some time to build up. And once it's built up, you get that oxygen delivering effect through the hemoglobin by increasing the oxygen affinity for hemoglobin in the red blood cells. That increases, and then it takes about 2 weeks before you would notice a difference. So I didn't notice a difference between oral and sublingual ITTP, but I will try the injectable soon because I haven't tried ATPP or ITTP, minoxidil tripyrophosphate, in 3 months, 4 months. I'm in a TRT now for a month, and I ran out about 2 months before my cycle completed, or 3 months, something like that. Yeah, it was just out of stock, and I didn't have any more. So, but now they have injectables. So I will give it a try soon. When that is, I'm not entirely sure. I want to just cruise. I want to cruise. Testosterone, 200 milligrams. A little bit of a GLP-1, a little bit of retatrutide or tirzepatide. I ran tirzepatide, but I got some cravings, so I put the retatrutide back in. And some mitochondrial peptides, and that's it. I just want to, for once, have an easy cycle. Until the bug bites again, and just do with less and try to maintain. But so far, it ain't bad. All right, it ain't bad, dude. Here's another mosquito bite. What the fuck, man? I got destroyed. It ain't bad, guys. Look at those tan lines. Look at those Maine Coon scratches. Went to the cat cafe. And they played a little bit too hard with the Maine Coons. So I will give it a try, and then I'll update you here in the Vigorous Q&A. But yeah, it looks tasty. It's sitting in my cupboard, screaming at me, "Inject me, bro. Inject me, bro." Farrell did a 7-day fast years ago, and the mental benefits are still here. The feeling of hunger was never as intense or bothersome after this. Yes, I did 6.5 days. But I still get cravings. Yeah. I just like to eat. And the only way to not eat is by taking a GLP-1. I probably have to take that for life. I certainly have a stock for life. Yeah, same thing, dude. So, the GLP-1s are going out of stock in the USA, right? So everybody stocks up. And my reason to get like a fuckload of peptides in from China, right? From a reputable wholesaler that some of my affiliates use. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get a fuckload of peptides, stock it in the fridge, because from January 1st here in Thailand, they were going to add taxes to all of the packages. Nothing happened. Just empty threats. So all of the packages that I get from China, from AliExpress, 0 taxes. I ordered one package from Japan. Okay, that had taxes, but it had taxes before, right? Import taxes. I had it before this new rule change. And everything else I get imported with my shipping forwarder in France and UK and Japan and the USA. So all the motorcycle parts that are heavy and then expensive, I just import through my import shipping provider, and that's a lot of money under the table, and it's all in. No issues. So yeah, maybe I should do a 7-day fast. I lasted 6.5 days one time. Hey Steve, what's a good testosterone range for female and HRT? Man, off the top of my head, I mean, you can go slightly over the reference range. Like my wife is naturally like 68 nanograms per deciliter, and I think the female reference range goes up to 40. So, guess who's winning for that? Let's see, female reference range for testosterone, 15 to 70. Okay, so that's a different range than they have here. But yeah, she's usually like 68 to 75. Often highest in 20s to early 30s, and then around 10 to 55. Postmenopausal drops to 40. So I would look into like 50 to 75, give or take, maybe slightly superphysiological, unless she gets clear virilization. I mean, femto test is like 0.5 milligram per 1 milligram per cc, and then you do half a cc injections maybe 2 times or 4 times a week to get 2 milligrams in. It's kind of low. So most women take like 1 or 2 milligrams testosterone for HRT, and that's it. When my wife gives birth to our second child down the road, No good news yet. Still need to implant. I'll put her on some TRT too. DHEA, some TRT, growth hormone. Fuck yeah, thick booty fucking poundages. There we go. Been dieting pretty hard over the last 5 months, down 42 pounds. I've been noticing free T3 has started dropping over the 3 months. Blood tests, 31, 2.7, 2.4. Time to add in some T3 or stop dieting and cruise. So if that starts to happen to you, you can either look into T4 and growth hormone supplementation, which actually increases your total and free T3 levels. Because if your T3 levels are dropping, it's probably because your thyroid stimulating hormone levels are dropping due to the prolonged dieting. That's common with people. And then as a result of that, your, thyroid gland doesn't produce adequate amounts of T4 anymore, no matter how much iodine and selenium and vitamin K, vitamin K, just all three, you supplement with. So it could be that TSH is coming down, which wouldn't surprise me if your TSH is also dropping by a little bit the last 3 months, unless you didn't test that. But take it from me, it's probably low. And then instead of supplementing with T3, you can just supplement with T4 because your body is not producing so much T4 anymore because thyroid stimulating hormone is low. And then you can promote the conversion of T4 into T3 by upregulating the deiodinase enzymes, cleaving off one iodine atom from the T4, making it metabolically active form into T3. So you have one iodine atom remaining, which can be utilized for another T4 molecule. So it recycles itself, basically. Growth hormone does that. So 50 micrograms, 100 micrograms T4 with 2 IUs, 3 IUs growth hormone before bed. Seems to work well unless the T4 keeps you awake. That happens in some people. Stimulates the heart rate a little bit too much. Makes them active. You take the T4 in the morning and the growth hormone before bed. The growth hormone upregulates the deiodinase enzymes overnight. And then by the time you take the T4, the deiodinase enzymes are like, oh, T4, bro. Let's convert that. And then you stimulate your metabolism more with daily fasted cardio and a solid breakfast. You're welcome. G here. I've lost 145 pounds. Man, that's a whole hottie. This guy's lost a whole fucking sexy mama. 145 pounds. Is that how many kilos is that? Pounds. Pounds to kgs, obviously. Google, come on, you should know this. 65 kilograms. Oh, that's a little bit too much of a hot mama. Unless she's absolutely... it's a little bit too much for me. I would prefer 58. 127 pounds. Well, you lost more than a hottie. I'm about 10% body fat with some loose lower ab skin. Could I get a tummy tuck now while lean, or do a growth off season first and get surgery later? So maybe like a tummy tuck obviously is expensive. You're out of commission for a while, and then you have that giant fucking scar, which doesn't look too appealing. So I would do a growth phase first. See how much it improves over time. You know, you increase your calories, you get that protein sparing effect. You might be able to fill out that area, increase your waist size a little bit, stretching it out. But of course, your obliques, your lower back, and your abs will only grow that much until the point you look wide-waisted. And then it's not so, not so nice looking. So maybe train off season first, or at least, give yourself some time to kind of fill out the muscle tissue, because if you lost 145 pounds, you're probably flat as fuck, and your muscles are eager to grow now. The insulin sensitivity and the nutrient partitioning is really eager to receive some calories and some protein, and have some protein sparing effect from the carbohydrates and the fats that you're getting in. And then maybe everything will kind of tighten up. So I would do it at least in off season first. Slowly increase your calories by 10% increments. Protein first, then the carbs, and then the fats. And you slowly do that. And then see where you end up. You can always do the tummy tuck, but I think it's worth doing an off season, maybe for 3 months. Try to aim to stay around 10 to 12% body fat, and then see what happens with your muscle tissue. Of course, it takes about a year before your muscle tissue is really set in, but hey, tummy tuck surgery is pricey. Average price of tummy tuck. Oh, with liposuction, hey, $10,000 to $25,000. Many patients ranging between $14,500 to $18,500. Come to Thailand. It's way cheaper here. So how about this? You save some money during the off season. You save some money, prepare your trip for Thailand, do some research. I can highly recommend Rotterdam Plaza, where I did my liposuction and gynecomastia surgery. Those guys are great, and they've been using my before and after pictures all over social media and Instagram and Facebook, and I'm sure you've seen it. So fly to Thailand, do your tummy tuck surgery here, and let some liposuction, let everything tighten up. It's basically the same thing that Mike Israel did. And then you get some BJs before the surgery, and then maybe after the surgery, after you collected some phone numbers. You had a great time. I went to Thailand, and look at my abs. My sack is fucking drained. If I'm taking 50 milligrams test daily, should I do IM or sub-Q? Quarter cc's, you could do sub-Q, but it depends on what you prefer. Yeah, you could do sub-Q. I've done up to 1 cc per day sub-Q. Worked well. You get a little bit of lumps and bumps, but you're injecting a whole fucking milliliter every single day. So after 2 weeks, it kind of accumulates. It doesn't metabolize that fast. Should I take my supplements before or after morning fasted cardio, or does the 15 grams of fat I take with my supplements for absorption reduce the benefits of cardio if taken before? So what I do is I take all my medications and steroids and performance-enhancing drugs before fasted cardio. Then I take my supplements that are multivitamins, extracts, general health supplements. I take them after, besides maybe zinc. I take them after the meal because these benefit from having a little bit slower absorption and more passing through time. So micronutrients, for example, in form of a multivitamin, that's the same shit you would find in food, right? Food takes 8 hours to digest, to make it easy. There's variations between food sources, obviously, but let's say it takes 8 hours to digest. If you take your multivitamin on an empty stomach, all these micronutrients hit your system right away, turning into expensive pee. Try it. Take your multivitamin on an empty stomach and a liter of water and watch your urine on your first pee after that. Then you take your multivitamin with your breakfast and then watch your pee after that. It's the same as with any other meal because you buffer the absorption because the food takes time to digest and all that shit is kind of floating around in your stomach through your intestinal tract. So I take all my medications on an empty stomach and then zinc with that because zinc is better if you take it on an empty stomach. And then all the other multivitamins and the anti-aging stuff, the vitamin D, the vitamin K, blah, 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 blah. I take that after the meal. So yeah, and the 50 grams of fat I take with my supplements. Could it reduce the absorption of cardio? Probably not, because it takes longer than 10 minutes to absorb. Fat takes some time to digest, unless you start stacking that with ox bile and, things that help with the digestion and breakdown of fatty acids. But I think even if you take it before, you should be fine, man. Hey, Steve, hope your vacation was blessed. I've been dieting on 5 milligrams Reta and 2,000 calories and gained 4 pounds this week. Can this be due to the huge amount of stress that I've been under lately? What to do? Yeah, if you only eat 2,000 calories, you shouldn't be gaining 4 pounds unless you really increase your sodium intake and it is just water retention. Is your Reta really Reta or something else? Make HCG that's making you hold water? It's unlikely. Could be stress. Maybe take a cortisol blocker. Gorilla Mind has one. Right, a cortisol blocker, literally, that's what the name is. Cortisol blocker. That's phosphatidylserine, ashwagandha root extract, saffron extract, a couple other things that help you to reduce stress. And then you can take Emodin, which prevents the production of cortisol. That's a separate product, but they also saw it over at Gorilla Mind. It inhibits one of the enzymes, I can't remember what the name is, that converts corticosterone into cortisol. So corticosterone is basically metabolically inactive. Doesn't really have much of a biological effect, but cortisol obviously does. So you take the Emodin to prevent the conversion, and then thus cortisol levels lower. And maybe that's how you reduce 4 pounds of water. But is it due to cortisol? Is it sodium intake? Is it your Reta or something else? I mean, it could be multiple factors. Maybe your food is not passing through the intestinal tract as fast, and now you gain 4 pounds of shit. It could be the case. Take some Senati. It's Senati. It's like a herbal laxative. I mean, I've been taking that every day on holiday because I'm eating off diet and I want to pass that shit through. And oh man, does it pass through? That's my like hidden fetish. Where you go to the Airbnb, it's not so good. You know, you got like 3 bathrooms and 3 bedrooms, and then one toilet is just for me. Then I can use the Garcinia Boja and the what is it called? The Xenical and the Senati to kind of prevent a little bit of fat absorption, not get fat on holiday. And they use the Senati to evacuate. But one of the toilet bowls is going to be destroyed in the Airbnb. And then the last day, I'll clean up my mess. Yeah, maybe you're just constipated, bro. I was mad constipated on holiday the first day because I took 6 milligrams of Reta. I didn't want to bring my peptides and I didn't want to inject. So on Sunday morning, I pinned like 6 milligrams of Reta. It was whatever was left in the vial, and 2 milligrams SS31 and 3 milligrams MOTC. I was like, I'm just going to clear these vials and go on holiday. So I was like fucking wired from the MOTC and shit and the SS31. And then going to the airport, like, oh, can't wait to eat. Because I was pretty hungry. Because you go a little bit hypo if you stimulate the mitochondria too much. You just take all the carbohydrates out of your blood, all the glucose out of your blood to produce ATP, and then you might go hypo a little bit. So I was pretty hungry, so I hit the business class lounge and had a couple sandwiches, and then I was okay again. And then Monday, the 6 milligrams Reta hit. Fuck me, man. No digestion at all. I don't get how people can inject like 10 milligrams Reta in one go. It works better that way, dude. I felt horrible. Oh well, live and learn. Is bacteriostatic water okay to use for MOTC, Semax, and Salank? Are there any peptides you should avoid reconstituting with bacteriostatic water? Also for glutathione and AD+. I think it's all fine for bacteriostatic water, man. They say that you need acetic acid for like water with acetic acid for IGF-1, LR3, and what another peptide, I think. I do it all with bacteriostatic water, and it works just fine. The first injection is fine, and the 10th injection on the 10th day after reconstitution is fine. Do you lose a little bit of potency? Sure. Do I notice a difference in losing potency? Absolutely not. Like glutathione, NAD+, it's all bacteriostatic water. It's fine, man. Steve, I'm going to be taking your advice on traveling more. I already have a couple trips planned out throughout the United States, but where would you recommend going internationally while I'm young, 22 years old? Bali, Thailand, that's pretty much traveling on easy mode through Asia. Europe is nice during summer. Not safe, in my opinion, not anymore. So I don't go there. Dubai is nice. If you want real adventure, you got to go to Bhutan or Mongolia or Tibet. I haven't been to Tibet myself. I would love to go, but I don't think it's in the cards for me. But I think Bhutan and Mongolia, that was real adventure. But when you're 22, I mean, the adventures are mostly found in nightlife and dating. So for that, Dubai, Bali, and Thailand is great. Yeah. Yeah. Good literacy in English, plenty of hotties, plenty of gym culture, plenty of fellow travelers that are into health and fitness, easy to acquire gear. If you're into that stuff, I know you're into peptides, but maybe at one point you'll get into gear. Even though you're 22 years old, maybe it's a little bit too young. But yeah, visit the hotspots, man. Visit the hotspots. And then you can do hardcore traveling later on. You know, you go, I don't know, fucking China. China's pretty hardcore traveling because of the language barrier. Japan is not easy, even though people are nice and a little bit xenophobic, but that's mostly for non-Caucasians, unfortunately. And I know you're Caucasian, so yeah, every country has its biases, I would say. Where else? Yeah, fucking Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan. That's pretty hardcore. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. It's like you're like almost in the Western world, like 1 foot outside of it. and then you're not sure if you're in a Muslim country or a Russian country or something, you know. So yeah, those are like the in betweens. Yeah, plenty of places to go, man. I really like Uzbekistan. We had some Uzbeki food in Cause Insomnia. It was great, and we had some Turkish food that somebody recommended through Instagram. He says, "Dude, you got to eat here." So I look up the reviews, and I look up the place, and we swing past there, and then we spent an arm and a leg. No, not really. It was pretty cheap. It's like $50 for the two of us. But we had a lot of kebabs and some baba ganoush and hummus, and oh man, it was great. I mean, if you want real good food, bro, if you want real good food, go to Turkey or Lebanon, and even Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan. I mean, it's like perfect bodybuilder food, man. It's like steak on a stick or chicken on a stick. Like shish tuks, shish kebabs. Oh man, a little bit of rice, a little bit of bread, some hummus, healthy fats, hot women. You know, what more do you want? Well, maybe in Lebanon it will be a little bit difficult. I think in Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, you can score quite easily. Yeah. So I travel around, man. It's the best thing I ever did for my life. Travel around, because when you have kids, or like traveling to Koh Samui with kids, I did nothing. I heard taking vitamin E 400 more than 3 times weekly is bad on cycle. Any truth to this? Not sure. Really? I never heard of that. Why? Why is it bad? I take it every day. I take it every day, and I'm jacked. Hi, Steve. HCG question. Is it true potency degrades severely after 3 weeks after reconstitution? Yeah, after 2 weeks, actually. So it's better to go through those vials quickly. And you would see in the scientific evidence or in the medical insert that HCG remains high potency 30 days to 60 days, depending on the brand, after reconstitution, which in my opinion is not true. And I have several videos on this. I mentioned in the HCG deep dive, or the real reason why your HCG stopped working video, or several videos of that nature, and it just seems to denature quite rapidly. Now, after HCG was labeled as a biological under the Biden administration, the purity and the potency of HCG has gone down dramatically. So it used to be like 97% potency and purity, and now it's like 80%, 90%. So not only is the purity low and the potency low, I don't know, whatever they put in the HCG formulations nowadays, and it's even with pharma, like third world pharma from India, from the third world drop shippers, right? Or whatever they make in China. So that's pharmaceutical Indian made, right? The generics from India, but it's pharmaceutical grade, at least FDA approved there. And then you have generics from China, which are not FDA approved there, and probably the same factories that India uses, but they batch test everything. So it's quote unquote pharma grade, but third world pharma. So how much quality it is. And then you have HCG that you get from the compounding pharmacy in the United States. So there's a huge discrepancy between quality of HCG, the highest quality being Merck Ovitrol, that's recombinant HCG. That's Merck. They don't do anything wrong. Their recombinant FSH and recombinant HCG is absolutely top of the line, the best of the best. That's what I use to get my fertility parameters as crazy as possible when I tried to get my wife pregnant. But yeah, the Pregnil, the urine purified HCG, just has, first of all, has some trace proteins in there, so that lowers the purity basically. And then it seems that the potency is low after 2 weeks, or it degrades either due to the peptides or the manufacturing process. So if you use bacteriostatic water, you just got to finish that HCG vial within 2 weeks. And that means if you do 500 IUs 3 times a week, you basically get 500 times 6, 3,000 IUs out of a 5,000 IU vial that is high potency, and then after that it starts to degrade. And you see that with guys that really stretch their HCG. So they have 5,000 IU vials divided by 250. So they have 20 dosages, divided by 3. So they make that 5,000 IU vial like last 6.5 weeks, because I take 250 IUs 3 times a week or every other day. After 6.5 weeks, the potency is so low that from one vial to the next, they notice a huge difference. Then my HCG isn't really working anymore, my libido is low, my balls are shrinking, and then they reconst the new vial, same batch. And then after 2 injections, 3 injections, they're like, oh man, this is the real shit. And then by week 6, it's the same shit all over again. So I would tell those people that notice a clear difference between the old vial and the new vial at 250 IUs or 500 IUs even, that the potency and the purity, it just degrades real fast, and you need to reconstitute every 2 weeks, meaning that you lose 2,000 IUs or less, because it's already degraded. Maybe it's 1,500 IUs or 1,000 IUs left. Thank you for your time, Steve. Have you considered creating a forum and hiring a forum manager? Hiring a farm manager in Thailand to ensure your food is of the best quality. I intend to do this in the USA. I import all my food. So all the animal meat products are all imported, besides the chicken. So the beef is imported. The pork is imported that I eat. Once in a while I have some pork tenderloin, or the shrimp are imported. Yeah, it's just coming from a wholesale supplier, so I order like 20 to 40 kilos at a time, and then I throw it in my freezer. Now, of course, freezing food isn't the best because you destroy some of the enzymes that help with digestion, destroy some of the micronutrients, but it's better than eating locally produced, besides the chicken. And the chicken that I eat is as pure, that's export quality. They export to Laos, Japan, and a couple other Asian countries, so then you know that their chicken is of a quality that matches several different countries' importation and quality control standards. So as pure chicken is what I buy here, and then the eggs locally produced. Yeah, so I think I go with Akara or as pure as well. So, but no, starting a farm and opening up a business is a waste of time, dude. No. I need to buy whole cows and whole chickens. The amount of food that I eat, it would be it's just financial drainage and waste of time that I don't even want to think about it. Might do it. Can HDL, LDL be improved and maintained to be a healthy standard after a blast with a cruise on test C and Primo? No, on Primo, no. Because Primo will skew your HDLs. That's why we come down to TRT. And it's 200 tests, 250 tests, no Primo, no Anavar, no bridging, no blah, 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 blah. You take that shit out. And what is 100 Primo going to do? I'm a control master dial. Okay, take less tests. Or use an Aromatizer inhibitor, which doesn't affect your lipids. Aromasin has no effect on lipids. Anastrozole has an effect on lipids by preventing the breakdown of cholesterol, right? It's a cholesterol breakdown inhibitor. So total cholesterol and LDL goes up when you take anastrozole because you have more cholesterol in the body, unless you take a Zetamib or a statin to kind of offset that. But then you're patching one hole with another one. So, and then you're still on polypharmacy. So I take 200 milligrams a test. Now total testosterone is, what was it? 1,500 or 1,600 nanograms per deciliter, and estradiol is like 40. So, but I'm lean. It helps. Does Turinabol act as a diuretic? Indirectly, it does, because Turinabol is an aldosterone synthase inhibitor, lowering aldosterone levels, which then promotes the excretion of sodium, which then acts as a diuretic. But most people on Turinabol notice that they cramp. Not really that they stay lean, but that they start cramping because their lack of sodium. Does Turinabol act as a diuretic comparing anabolism with Anavar if you care about facial bloating? Yeah, so again, we discussed this. If you care about facial bloating, you need to take the growth hormone out, because growth hormone promotes sodium retention. You can offset this with sitagliptin or not gliptin, empagliflozin or dapagliflozin, but that also increases potassium levels to a certain extent and transiently reduces sodium levels. And empagliflozin and dapagliflozin promote more sodium excretion when glucose is also high, because glucose then also pulls water, and then the sodium follows that basically. Now, they both act as a a method to prevent glucose and sodium reuptake in the kidneys. Turinabol acts as a aldosterone synthase inhibitor, so that promotes sodium excretion as well. But does it reduce facial bloating? No. No. Again, it's just lifestyle, bro. We've discussed this. Eating habits and lifestyle is what keeps you lean. And even me, I have a little bit of facial bloating. Okay, just whatever. What's your favorite? Bromotan versus modafinils versus dihexa for productivity. Can I combine any of them? I've never combined these three, but I've combined bromotan with Nupept and modafinil with Nupept and dihexa with Nupept, or bromotan with alpha GPC, modafinil with alpha GPC, and dihexa with alpha GPC. But no, these would I would consider like the hardcore stimulant nootropics, and then you throw in a uridine 5-monophosphate or alpha GPC or Nupept or whatever you prefer on top. You know, yeah, I like bromotan. Yeah, I used to love modafinil. Ran it for every single day for a long time, and now it just gives me headaches. So that's done. Right? I fried my brain with modafinil. Can't take it anymore. So now I take bromotan when I need it. Maybe maybe once a week, twice a week. I don't work that hard anymore. So what's the point of taking a nootropic when I'm not gonna maximize the nootropic effects by working all day? Do you like to eat or seek exotic game meat in Thailand? Ostrich, elk, alligator, mountain lion. So I've eaten not mountain lion, but I've eaten ostrich, elk, and alligator. Alligator I ate. I'm not sure if it was Cambodia or Thailand or both. I mean, I've been around quite a bit. Elk I've eaten in Holland and also Thailand. Ostrich was also in Holland and Thailand. So yeah, I think I've eaten all three in Thailand. Ostrich I can actually order. Elk I can't. Alligator I can't. You have other deer meat. What is it called? I can't remember. But yeah, it is available. Is it on most product lists? Not really. Is it something you want to eat every day? Probably not. What nootropic stacks are you currently running, if anything? Just depends on what I need. And again, I haven't really been working that much because I've been just so involved with my daughter and stuff. So, but yeah, sometimes I take a dihexa with a Nupept, or sometimes I take a bromotan with a alpha GPC. Whatever I feel like, man. So today I kind of guesstimate what the job description is going to be, and then I kind of mix and match nootropics or whatever I feel like, and then I go to work. But yeah, it's been a while since I really got a full day of sitting down to work. Because I got my priorities. I want to be a dad first. And I'm in a position where I don't need to work. If I look at the Bitcoin chart right now, I mean, I'm in a nice exit when it kind of peaked around 92,000 or 98,000, and now I'm waiting for lower prices. So I think there might be another sweep of a low, and then we'll get right back in, you know. And in that little time from end of November to January 15th, I made like 15% gains. Even though it was very hard. Oh man, I almost sold when I was like 94, and I was like, you know what? Let's see. And then I went to 98, and I kind of sold there when it broke the trend line. So where did I sell? 97 or something. Yeah, that's what I do, man. Let's see. Hey, Steve, anything to consider when switching from Test E 60 milligrams every other day to Test Breathe 30 milligrams every day? I want to see how I respond to other esters, since I aromatize a good amount on Test E every other day. Well, you get more testosterone in from Test B versus Test E, milligram for milligram, because the propionate ester is a little bit smaller and lighter compared to the enanthate ester, and it means that you get more actual milligrams of testosterone. So you go from a longer acting ester, 60 milligrams every other day with less frequent injections, to a shorter acting ester with higher milligrams of testosterone to everyday injections. So serum levels might go up by 10-15%, and 10-15% might mean that you aromatize more. But time will tell. So I would do this switch just one day to the next. Check your blood work on the last day, and then 4 weeks into test propionate 30 milligrams every day, and see if you need to use an aromatase inhibitor. It's very likely. Yeah, it's very likely. But some people say that they get better results from test P and that their estradiol levels are lower. But the only real way of knowing is by trying it and doing the blood work. First super chat, love the content question. Why, when I started growth hormone cycle with growth hormone, my appetite gets blunted? I mean, growth hormone promotes lipolysis, which increases free-form fatty acids in the bloodstream, which then can lower insulin sensitivity by preventing how insulin interacts with the insulin receptor and promotes glucose uptake. So maybe there's a lot of fat and glucose floating around in the bloodstream due to the growth hormone injections, and that is lowering your appetite through some pathway. That could be the case. And that's the only thing I could think about. Or maybe you're holding water in the intestinal tract, making you feel full. That could also be the case. And the growth hormone promotes a little bit of water retention systemically. Most people notice that their stomach gets a little bit distended, so you get a little bit of intra-abdominal water retention, basically. And that could blunt your appetite. Like, what else are you running? That's also important to know. Like, if you run a high-dose growth hormone cycle and retatrutide, for example, and your waist blows out, then you just feel full and bloated all the time, and that blunts your appetite. You should give us a motorcycle stream one day. Yeah, I've tried to do like financial streams and movie streams, but it gets no views and no super chats. So I read a Harley Davidson V-Rod on Koh Samui. That was a lot of fun. It was a Harley Davidson V-Rod Muscle from 2012. The tires on the Harley Davidson V-Rod Muscle were also from 2012. So they're like, it should be on its third batch of tires. So you should change your tires every 5 years or so, or every 5,000 kilometers, basically. And this one had 40,000 kilometers, so it's 8 tires, and of course it was almost 15 years old, so that's 3 tires at least. So yeah, but it was still on the tires of 2012. And I told the guy, said, hey, I check everything, dude. I told the guy, I said, hey, these tires are 2012. He's like, don't worry. It's safe. We drive it all the time. Fuck. Oh, this is the only opportunity that I rent a Harley Davidson V-Rod. So it's like, okay, fuck it. I'm just going to drive slow. And if it rains, then there will be no driving. And then halfway through the driving, I got into a speed, like one of those speed bumps, right? The little one in the area where they have schools. So the really pointy one. And then the front fork, it completely collapsed into itself. So the front fairing hit the top basically of the fucking fairing on the motorcycle. So it's like, oh god. Now the brakes luckily worked, all the turn signals worked. It was a little bit dusted, a little bit chrome was a little bit fucking flaky and stuff. But yeah, I still had a great ride. I didn't rip it. I was too scared, and then traffic on Koh Samui was pretty bad. So I didn't get a chance to rip it to 120 kilometers per hour. It's with 80 miles per hour. But I rode the casual 35 miles per hour, maybe 60 kilometers per hour, because I did not feel safe. And after 30 minutes, the vibrations were so bad, even though the entire front fork was collapsing on the speed bumps, the vibrations were so bad I couldn't feel my hand. I couldn't feel it. I still drove around the island for 2 hours just to, drive the bike and listen to the sound. I mean, V-Rods are loud as fuck and super obnoxious, so it was fun just ripping it, friction free. You put the clutch and then in the areas, and people look at you like you're a fucking lunatic. That was a lot of fun, but yeah, I did not feel safe on that bike. Holy shit! I've driven a lot worse though, so yeah. Yeah, and Koh Samui traffic, dude, with the amount of foreigners that drive around there with no motorbike skills, man, you have a side street or you have the highway here and then a side street, and these fuckers, they just pull out in your lane without looking. So I pull up next to this foreigner. I said, look at your bike and look at my bike. If I hit you, what do you think is going to happen? It's a little automatic scooter, 155 cc's. I said, dude, what the thing? Look, use your fucking eyes, man. The fuck? Oh, sorry. Probably baked out of his mind, you know, smoking weed for the first time in Thailand, driving motorcycle for the first time in Thailand. Oh, well. They were scared, though, those foreigners of the Harley. I gotta tell you that. They were fucking scared when I drove by, ripping the exhaust. That's not your daddy's scooter, bitch. Steve, I'm a high aromatizer doing daily sub-Q, weekly doses, 300 milligrams testosterone, anti 300 milligrams EQ. I want to try. We already discussed this, bro. I discussed this earlier. You said 45 milligrams test per day, right? So that's 300 milligrams. Use the timestamps. Use the timestamps when the live stream is done. Jeez, I'm 45 minutes behind? All right, I'm just going to do super chats first. I'll skip over the member questions because I answered a lot of membership questions already. Thanks, Steve, for a follow-up. I'm 40 years old. GH will be in. Thinking 300 tests, 300 Primo, then thinking about 150 milligrams MPP per week. Could I run Anavar or Anadrol? I don't want too much bloat for the summer. Yeah, then you run Anavar maybe 10 milligrams per day and then ramp it up to 25 milligrams if you need to. But I think 10 milligrams in this cycle is already good. 25 milligrams might be too much. And Anadrol, if you don't want too much bloat, then Anadrol is certainly not a good idea. Or you take it once per week. Yeah. But otherwise, bloat monster galore. The compound doesn't have cagrilintide. It's GLP-1, GIP, glucagon, MGF. Really? Okay. It's released today, and I want to try it, but I wanted to see how it would be beneficial. Well, all the people that I talked to that ran MGF, whether that was MGF or MGF PEG, that's pegylated MGF, said that it was a great way to lighten their wallet without getting any muscle tissue gains. IGF-1 LR3 works to a certain extent. Increlex certainly works, but MGF, give it a try, man. Give it a try. Let us know. But MGF, you would have to inject locally because it metabolizes very rapidly. And that, yeah, it doesn't make sense. IGF-1 makes sense because it stays in the system for 32 hours and as systemically. So if you inject it sub-Q, then an IGF-1 receptor agonist would work. But MGF, like real MGF or MGF agonist? I don't know. Send me the details on Instagram and I'll have a look at it after the live stream. Under fertility protocol, HG 1500 IOs and HMG 75 every other day. I've been about 7 weeks since my last spin. Semen parameters are improving, but my test was 66 FSH, 3.8 LH, 0.9. Should I be concerned? No, that's normal because it takes time for testosterone levels to come up. FSH is 3.8 from the HMG injections, and HCG doesn't raise LH levels, and LH levels will not come up when you have HCG in the picture because it's replacing the LH. So your FSH will hover around 3.8. Check your beta HCG levels. The next time they should be around 30, 35 milliIUs per milliliter. I think mine were like 25 on 1,000 IUs. HCG, I don't think you need to go beyond 1,000 IUs HCG. So 1,500 IUs seems a little bit excessive to me, but feel free to do it. I had to run through those vials. The faster you do it, the more potency you sustain. And it might take some time for your total testosterone to come up. But if your semen parameters are improving, that's what is important right now. The total testosterone will come with time. And actually, testosterone, if it's too high, it might be detrimental to your fertility. So I would continue on this protocol and give it another 7 weeks. Because it takes about 3 months, so it's 12 weeks, for semen parameters to really make a drastic difference. And by that time, your testosterone should be a lot better as well. Steve, you're one hell of a specimen for following keto. Cheers to cheesecake. Yeah, I like keto, man. I mean, I didn't follow a ketogenic diet in Koh Samui, obviously, because we're eating with the family. They wanted to eat some Thai food. And so basically what I did at Koh Samui, I had 4 packs of boiled chicken that you get at 7-Eleven for breakfast. And I went to the gym. And then I had a banana and shake. Also 7-Eleven shake. It's probably not the best whey protein shake, but I want to keep it simple and convenient. And then for lunch, we had just Thai food. And then for dinner, I usually had steak or something fancy with the wife because my grandma was, or her mother was there. The grandma was there to take care of our daughter in the evening, just supervise because she goes to bed at 7, and that's usually the time we have our romantic dinner for 2. So she was supervising, and then I might have followed it with some cheesecake or baklava when we went to the Turkish restaurant. Oh my god, dude, fuck. Baklava is like it's the best shit ever. It's got everything you want. It's got all the food groups. It's got it's got flour, it's got honey, and it's got nuts. What more do you want, dude? What more do you want? Oh man. All right, I'm gonna speed up a little bit, do super chats only because I'm so far behind. Hey Steve, taking 50 milligrams SLU powder 2 times per day, 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. Great energy, but having trouble falling asleep despite using Salank nasal spray. Well, the Salank could keep you awake. And Gorilla Dream. Any tips to be able to fall asleep earlier? Skip the second dose or take it at 12. Or take SLU powder out for a couple of days and see if that's what is causing you to stay asleep. But I mean, I took like 100 milligrams before bed directly, and I could still fall asleep. But I'm a sleepy motherfucker, so take the serving of 2 p.m. out, see if that improves your sleep, and otherwise take it out completely, see if that improves your sleep, and otherwise, Gorilla Dream, and then add some growth hormone to that. Should make you sleep a little bit easier. Started a new engineering job and ran a course of NSIA 189. Followed it with 5 milligrams dihexa 3 times per week. How often should I run dihexa? It works very well. I think 3 times a week is fine. I haven't done any research on NSI 189, so I'm not sure how that stacks. But if it works for you, it works for you. I like dihexa 2 times to 3 times a week. Yeah. If you have 50 milligrams Anadrol and want to make a low dose 10 milligrams sublingual dosages, what solution would you use to dissolve the tablets in? Should I take 20 milligrams pre-workout or split up throughout the day? If you have 50 milligrams A-bombs, you just split it into 4s. And you don't need a solution. You just cut them into 4s, and you have 12.5 milligrams per serving. You could take those sublingually, and then it's 25% more. So instead of 10 milligrams, you take 12.5 milligrams. There's something to say for convenience, man. Or you take 25 milligrams pre-workout. Yeah. And I prefer pre-workout or split up the dose on rest days. 800 milligrams test, 350 milligrams DHB. Holy moly. 300 Deca, 8 I use growth hormone, 20 I use Lantus, Humalog post workout, experiencing more anxiety than usual. Started taking Salank 2 milligrams split, GABA 700 milligrams, P5P 100 milligrams. Helped a lot. What else do you recommend? Well, ideally, you want to see what the root cause of the anxiety is. It could be the DHB or the DECA. I mean, some people experience anxiety or depression on DECA as well. So maybe take either of those out for like 4 weeks and see if the anxiety improves. Keep the GABA and the P5P in, obviously, even though it's mostly GABA that's helping. Salank is good to reduce anxiety, obviously. I mean, check your blood pressure that can cause anxiety. Check your hematocrit, red blood cell count. That can also cause anxiety. Anxiety is like pimples and libido issues. It's multifactorial. So you need to figure out which drug is causing it or which health condition is causing it. Is it blood pressure? Is it high red blood cell count and hematocrit? Is it a neurotransmitter imbalance? So try to pinpoint what is causing it and then address it accordingly. Because right now, I think you're already addressing it accordingly, but I don't know your blood work. right? And maybe the Lantus and the Humalog is messing with your blood glucose levels too much. Or maybe the 8-IUs of growth hormone is not taken in a single dose. Maybe you're splitting it up, and now you have insulin sensitivity issues, and now all this food is floating around in your bloodstream instead of being absorbed to skeletal muscle, increasing your blood pressure and causing anxiety. I mean, there could be so many things wrong. So maybe take the 8 IUs before bed if you're not already, and otherwise take 16 IUs growth hormone 3 times a week. So you have kind of one day without the growth hormone and help with the insulin sensitizing effect. You can take Lantus every single day, and Humalog post-workout 5 times a week, and then you take the 16 IUs growth hormone on 3 times a week post-workout before bed on weaker body part days. Any experience with chronic bowel and stool and burping even on TRT? 11 months on NHS UK. A doc wants me to do a liver biopsy due to over 100 ALT, despite telling him I'm about digestive issues in gym. Liver, US, and colonoscopy, good. It could be that your estradiol levels are too high, causing excessive bowel production, making your stool loose and watery. And for that simple test of serum estradiol levels, you could do with private labs in the UK. Now, it could also be that you have a food allergy. 100, it's below 100, right? Yeah, it's below 100 ALT, so that's less than 100 ALT. Okay, we need to know gamma GT, we need to know your bilirubin, we need to know your AST. I mean, it could be a food allergy, it could be high estradiol, could be some sort of indigestion or leaky gut, some parasites. It could be multiple things going on, but a liver biopsy. That's just why we don't go to the fucking general practitioners, bro. Jesus Christ. So figure out the root cause, man. Figure out the root cause and then again address it accordingly. Steve, my lab showed triglycerides 162, HDL 28, LDL 116. Triglycerides are a bit high, bro. If you're going faster than they're that high, then your carnitine needs to be supplemented in. Vitamin D3 18. I'm not sure if that's high or low. Can't remember that reference range. Elevated liver enzymes, 87-75. What can I take to improve? So this is, yeah. So here we have problems, right? You need to find the root cause and address that before you take anything. Why are your triglycerides high? Can you take carnitine to bring it down? Yes, or you can do cardio to bring it down, or address the foods that you're eating. Vitamin D3, if that's low, you can go into the sun. You can go to the sun or supplement with vitamin D3. HDL, again, what else are you taking? What steroids are you taking? Take the steroids out that lower your HDL and increase your LDL. Or the ancillaries that lower your HDL and increase your LDL. If you really want to know what you can take, and just take without changing anything to your lifestyle, injectable carnitine to lower your triglycerides, cardarine to lower your triglycerides, SLU PP332 to lower your triglycerides. HCl can come up with cardarine, amla extract, citrus bergamot, and increasing your estradiol levels. LDL can come down with ezetimibe, statins, citrus bergamot to a certain extent, red yeast rice, which is basically a statin, and garlic extract to a certain extent. Niacin doesn't work. Stop saying that. This is fucking bullshit. Doesn't work. Vitamin D3, go into the sun, take vitamin D supplements, elevated liver enzymes, take your TUDCA and fiber and shut the fuck up. Or stop training for a week. Here, Dylan already knows. Oh, fish oil, yeah, good suggestion. NAC, yeah, helps a little bit. Less orals, but never less oral. How did the DHT cream work for you, and did you incorporate it in the protocol? Yeah, I have an article on that. vigorsteve.com. There's an article on how to incorporate DHT cream with a bath mate and BPC 157 and TB 500 and growth hormone And yeah, I gained about an inch in length and girth. Yeah, it was all right. It was all right. My wife didn't like it, so I stopped. But it's not like I was deficient or anything, so. All right, we got the super chats done. I'll do some member questions. I felt I was very behind, so I'm not going to answer all of them, though. I'll be selective. You should stop following fake doctors. That's all. Chiropractor is not a doctor. And just because they look like Wes Watson and scream at the camera doesn't mean that they know what they're talking about. But I need to be yelled at. Otherwise, I'm not going to follow the advice. This guy's literally a Wes Watson copycat. You guys still listen to this nonsense. And just making stuff up to sound new and refreshing. Go follow that guy. Come back in 5 years when you're a little bit older and wiser. Finasteride, Retasteride for test only cycle experiencing hair loss at 40 milligrams testosterone cypionate daily. Are you sure it's because of the DHT? You know? Are you sure? I would consider finasteride and dutasteride as a last resort, bro. Let's see. Here. Okay. Yeah, look at this mask. Oh, what. Come on, focus. There you go. Looks like a pair of underwear. Yeah, so this is the mask that Heavy Reset got me. So that's pretty cool. I appreciate gifts like this. Look at that. And it matches my motorcycle. So I'll be wearing that. And then the Thai police is going to love me. Where is my motorcycle? Here, there you go. So this motorcycle, the gold motorcycle with the spinning exhaust, I'll be wearing that mask while doing this. And of course, I got a golden helmet on the side. Just to make sure that the cops don't stop me and don't take the helmet off, and then I'm still wearing the mask. Oh man, they're gonna love it. Why don't you wear a normal baklava, bro? I said, hey, don't make me fucking suplex you, copper. Has your thoughts on the SR9009 change as of late? Is it worth taking? So you had a few older videos on it. Yeah, I mean, it helps with fat loss a little bit, and it helps to regulate circadian rhythm. But it's been a long time since I took it because we have mirabegron and we have SLU and other fat burners. And I might take it when I go to the US, you know, to kind of help reset my circadian rhythm. But I'm probably going to be high on bromantane the entire weekend that I'm at the Arnold Classic, and that keeps me awake pretty well as well. So, yeah, I haven't really looked into it, man. I mean, things come and go. Some things stay. Like Cardarine, for example. Clenbuterol is still being heavily used. And those have been tried and proven. And SR9009 was promising, and you used it for a while, and you're like, yeah, it's an okay fat burner. It's good to improve stamina levels. And then something else comes around, and then it's better. You know, more scientific evidence behind it, better effects regarding fat burning and stamina boosting effects. And then, so yeah, you switch to that. You know, you switch to that. No, never. Pay me or fuck off. No, it's because there's so many members and so many super chats that I just don't get. I don't get a chance. Like, if you want to, in life, if you want to skip the queue, you pay up. That's everywhere. That's everywhere. You want to use the fast lane at the theme park, you got to pay up. You got to use the express pass, right? That costs extra money. You want to get a passport faster, you pay extra. So, because there's too many people and not enough staff. There's one Vigorous Steve and, well, 200 of you, which is not too many, but a lot of questions. So I answer the questions, people that want to support me. And then when we have time, we answer other people's questions that didn't support me. But it looks like we have a boatload of questions. And if some of the members, they just spam questions, like Benjamin or Farrell, like here, 1, 2, 3. They're like, for $10, I'm going to get my $10 worth. So I'm just going to skip over those questions. And because if I see your username too much, then I tire out. I'm like, that's enough for this week, right? You got like 10 reach arounds already. Your reach around budget is up. We'll see you next weekend. Steve, I think I watched all of your fertility content. It only brushes up against the topic of penis sensitivity. Is there one drug peptide that has the biggest impact on sensitivity? Stop masturbating. Stop using these deadlift hands. Not these, but yours, obviously. Just stop jerking off, man. Just, if you're circumcised, I don't know, get some super soft underwear, so the cotton is not rubbing the sensitivity off your dick while you're walking. You get something nice, something that feels like a reach around, and nice and soft on your fucking acorn, on the tip of your dick, and then the sensitivity will come back. But yeah, the sensitivity of the tip of your penis, I don't know, man. I don't know. I've never had issues there, but I have foreskin, and I got a wife, so these hands get no love. I don't need to, Like, honestly, dude, if you get like a BJ every day, it's like the best moisturizer. BJ every day, dude. It's the best moisturizer you can get. No joke. I'm being dead fucking serious. I mean, it's like, oh man, it feels like, like you have something in between marble and that super nice fabric that when you touch it, it's like velvet fabric, and then marble when it's freshly cut and has no and polished and stuff. So something in between. That's what you get on your dick skin. And it just makes them want to suck it more. Honestly, dude, that was the best thing. Yeah. Well, you guys have no idea. I started a peptide business in Canada. My Chinese supplier is okay. Ideally, I'd use one of your recommend. No. Cannot. Because I get these from some of your competitors, and I know they wouldn't be happy. So if you want to get good suppliers, either Google a lot or go to the Chinese Bio Expo. It's in Shanghai every year. And all these fuckers will have a booth. And just negotiate with them, said I'm going to batch test everything, and then you're going to send me from the same batch. If the same batch is not available, I'm going to have to batch test it again. And this means that we either have a long-lasting relationship or a very short-term, and then I go with some of your competitors. Have you ever thought of doing a motovlog channel with all the bikes and car culture? Yeah, I thought about it. Yeah, it would take such a long time to build up, and the revenue isn't really there, and it would take away from the main channel and from other stuff. So I seriously considered buying like a Instant 360 and a couple GoPros or the whole set, where you get like one on your helmet, one on the dash, and one you're sticking out the ass of your motorbike, and vlogging stuff, all my interactions at night and stuff when I'm driving around. But I don't have the time, man. I don't have the time. My daughter is born, and it changed my priorities so much. Listen, I can make like $500,000 in a week with trading. No joke. And when I say $500,000, it's a little bit more, but so you guys understand. I don't need to work. I need to be a good dad because I didn't really have much of parenting. So I want to break the mold and do it right from the start. And I warned you guys that this was going to happen. It's too precious to me, man. And I know people that kept working, and needed to build their brand and needed to earn more money, and now they have their daughter or their son, and they started to wisen up, and oh, now I really need to provide. I got all my providing out of the way. I need to be present. That's it. I need to be a dad that's present. We have too many dads in this world that are not present, that are working, and feeling that they provide to that extent. But kids also need their dad to be present. There's too many kids with no relationship with their dads, or poor relationship with their dads, or poor role models, and I don't want to be that guy. So starting a motor vlog channel, I don't have time for it. I barely have time for this YouTube channel. I'm happy to keep it going with the Vigorous Q&A, and I'm really trying my absolute best to get back to work to the deep dives, but the ROI on the deep dives is huge compared to starting a new motovlog channel. And it would just be a passion project when all my priority for a passion project is my daughter and my son when he gets born. So I would love to, I love to be a parent more. So it's that simple, you know? And I do so many consultations and personalized advice by email and the VIP clients. I mean, that takes 20 hours, 25 hours of the week. And high ticket sales, man. I mean, I fucking killed it in December. Like fucking insane, guys. You don't want to know. What I need is time. That's all I need. I need time. And for that, I need to make sacrifices on the business end. Not on my daughter's end. No way, dude. So sorry that I cannot be more present for you guys, but I made a commitment, and my daughter supersedes all of it. Supersedes all of it. Hey, Steve, 6 weeks in growth hormone jumped from 2 IUs to 4 IUs, and I have carpal tunnel affecting sleep. Better to drop it or titrate back or switch to every other day dosing. So if you're already doing the taurine and the potassium and high water intake to kind of help with the flushing of the water retention and regulate the osmotic pressure in your nerves, you could switch to every other day, 8 IUs every other day. That seems to cause less water retention. But if that doesn't work, then go back to 2 IUs and keep it there, and then jump to 3 after a month or two. When you didn't have carpal tunnel for a month, then you can go to 3 IUs or switch brands. I mean, maybe the growth hormone that you're using is just causing too much water retention, you know? Like some of the brands, they insinuate that they're shredded, like shredded tropin, but in reality, it makes you hold a ton of water. So I'll tell you what, I got anabolic pharmacist send me growth hormone kits from his source. Fuck, man. Shit is good. Like good serum levels and minimal water retention. So I really like that one. I'm just not really running it right now because I went to holiday and I wanted to be lean. I had a good beach physique. Yeah, good on the beach, and then you go to a gym like Muscle. What is it called? Legacy Muscle Universe or something like that, or Universe Muscle Legacy Gym, whatever, in the north of Koh Samui, and then you realize that you're pretty fat, and all these jack dudes that live there that got a nice tan and 0% body fat that are like, shit, I got like a farmer's tan. Anyway, every other day or drop back down and keep it there, and then, yeah. And then see what happens. Mr. Blue Collar Bodybuilding says, I keep my females that are into the art of and competition at 60 to 80 nanograms per deciliter. Just talking about hormone replacement therapy for women, and estrogen high end of the reference range of follicle phase 30 to 144, but need to watch androgen sensitivity for the sides of high T. Yeah, so that's basically the same as what I said. Right, you keep the testosterone around 40 to 75, so it's a little bit lower, but he was probably working with the women that are a little bit bigger. Right, the Caucasian women are a little bit more, bigger stature, a little bit more Amazonian. And again, over 75 nanograms per deciliter, you certainly can notice some androgen sensitivity issues. Now, if you get a little bit of hair loss or hair growth, Sure, it can laser that off, but as soon as the voice starts changing or you get a little bit too horny, then yeah, you might want to taper that down. Unless you like the horniness. The fucking, again, talked about the in between the marble and the velvet suede. It's a great foreplay, bro. What was that Retinol clinic you went to? Yeah, that's where I went. Retinol Hospital. It's linked in the gynecomastia videos with the doctor that I went to. Does Anadrol put on real tissue, or is it mainly just for acute strength gains? I think it's both, even though the scientific evidence showed that it was... Did it? I need to review it again. But yeah, acute strength gains through non-genomic effects, very noticeable. Like one tablet of Anadrol, you're like, oh shit, I'm setting some PRs. And then the second and third tablet of Anadrol, you're like, oh motherfucker, I gotta reassess my logbook. This guy was gained 4 pounds. Reta is real, had it tested, not constipated at all. I poop like 3 to 4 times a day. Nice. And all food is digested, no bloat. Maybe she just try blunt cortisol, blast tren. No, so if you go with tren or anavar, that just blocks the cortisol at the receptor site, but doesn't actually lower cortisol levels. So I would look into Emodin or a cortisol blocker from Gorilla Mind, or fix whatever is causing you to have high cortisol levels. Because, that could be a root cause if you're not constipated. Steve, what do you think about solo night outs to approach women? I've been doing it since a few months now. Yeah, I used to do that all the time when I was single. I went out to Thailand at just 12 o'clock, just go out solo. I did so much, dude. And there's usually some other dude that's out there solo as well. You meet them at the bar, especially if you go a little bit early. They're like standing at the bar, kind of scouting, looking for prospects. And you're like, hey, you're riding solo or you need a wingman? And they're like, no, I'm riding solo. It's okay, good luck. And then 30 minutes later, you see them walk out the door. You're like, hey, respect, bro, I'm still looking, or vice versa. And it's like, no, I need a wingman. And then you order a bottle of whiskey, or you go Coke Zeros or some cocktails, and you start looking around. And then, or you go solo, you look for a group of girls, and then one of us found it, and then you say, so you have a buddy, I'll signal him. You raise your glass, right? And once in a while you look, so, you found a couple of chicks, and you go there. This is my buddy John. I am John. With your buddy Andrew. Yeah, it's completely different names, just fucking stage names. And then, and then you just you have a group of girls you you can choose, right? But of course, it depends on where you go out. Like going out in Holland, I did that solo quite a few times, and in Thailand, obviously, and when I was traveling in Vietnam and Laos, and I always went out solo. But it's reasonably easy to score as a somewhat fit Caucasian. It's pretty easy to score. Sam's in Holland, but I didn't really go out anywhere else solo, and not in America. I went to a strip club, doesn't really count. And I went to a nightclub, but then I was with a group of friends, so that's not solo. Where else did I go out solo? No, only Asian and Holland. France, no. Germany, no. At the Love Parade, I was with a group of friends. Belgium, I Love Techno, I was also with a group of friends. They didn't score there, it was too high. That's way too fucking high. But yeah, I mean, in Asia it works, dude. Yeah, in Asia it works. I got laid plenty of times. You don't have to worry about anybody else. You can kind of set your own pace. And usually if you meet another guy, you can hire him as a wingman, and then sometimes you strike up a friendship, or just for the night, and then you meet him again like 3 months later. I said, hey, bro, how's it going with the black book? I said, oh, I got this STD, bro. One time we just bounced out some random dude that I met like 3 times, and then we wingmanned it, and they just go smoke cigars or something. Like, I'm so sick of this shit. Like, I fucked her, and her. And there's no other hotties in there. I gotta bounce. Which other club can we go to? Spicy? Nah. Bossy? No. Illusion? No. Yeah. And he just fucking, let's go smoke some cigars. Yeah, good times. That chapter has been closed for like 15 years. But since I'm old, I do have a lot of fond memories. How do you feel about freezing pharmacy-grade HCG and insulin syringes? This is recommended by my TRT doc. Yeah, basically you can. I have a video on this. It's called freezing HCG. It should technically be possible. I tried it, and blood work parameters and pregnancy tests came back the same. Hey Steve, L-tyrosine, CDP-choline, alpha-GPC. One or multiple of these made me go really hypo. Not too eager to try to pinpoint which one. Really? L-tyrosine, CDP-choline, alpha-GPC made you go hypo? I've never heard of that before. I mean, combining CDP-choline with alpha-GPC is a bit double up because they're both choline variants. So combining L-tyrosine with CDP-choline and uridine 5-monophosphate and Huperzine A, I can understand. Or replacing the CDP-choline in that stack with alpha-GPC, I can understand. But combining both, maybe you just had like a cholinergic response where you had hypercholoristemia. Well, you guys know what I mean. Or you had too high choline levels and you start salivating. And you get a little bit confused and you mistook that for hypoglycemia. Yeah, I don't know. Can I apply GHK copper mixed in bacteriostatic water to my skin along with microneedling, or do I need a specific GHK? No, you can do that. Many guys have done it and regrown their hair or beard. Yeah, it burns like a motherfucker, though. It burns like because you're creating little abrasions in your scalp, and then the GHK copper goes in, and it burns, dude. It is not fun. The guy with bowel production might have celiac disease. Yeah. Causing poor absorption or malabsorption, especially fats, making your stool loose and oily. Yeah, that's a good spot there. If it's just bile, it should make the poop brown. Yeah, and it's intestinal inflammation, and then some sort of allergic response. Which again, celiac disease you can address with changing your food sources around or fasting for a while to remove the inflammation. And let's see what's going on. Yeah, I've addressed this a million times. Eat better. It's not about drugs that you take. But sometimes you just hold water in the face. Where in Thailand are you? I'm moving there in October. I live in Bangkok. The only place where serious people live. If you live in Koh Samui, or Phuket, or Pattaya, or Hua Hin or Chiang Mai, you're just here to party, and then I don't know. It's not for serious people. Your knowledge is remarkable. How did you learn? Google. It's Google, bro. Just Google it. I did that for my entire life since I was 13, and before it was Yahoo, obviously, or GoGoDuck, or I don't know. Just have a desire to learn. Anybody can learn what I learned. Just never stop learning. Yeah, TikToks and comment sections. That's how I learned. Now I got this condition called popcorn brain. And I have a very short attention span. Bro, can you answer some good questions? I'm doing them. I'm answering all the good questions, bro. All the good paid for questions. Steve, just wanted to thank you for all your capitalization galore. Fuck yeah. Just wanted to say thank you for all the knowledge you give on weekly. With your help, I got from down from 278 pounds to 204. There you go. Hoping to hit 190 pounds, buddy. Arnold, see you there, buddy. See you there. But don't lose any muscle tissue in the process, okay? Because 15 pounds is a lot, and if you're losing some strength and muscle tissue, then remember, guys, below 200 pounds is not a man. 190 is pretty low, man. Fuck. You might be cold at the Arnold. I'll be 230 at the Arnold. I'll be 230 at the Arnold. It's so funny. I went to this Muscle Universe gym in Koh Samui, right? And then luckily there were not too many fans besides Urs. No, joking. Not too many fans. So I got maybe approached like 2 times in the 4 workouts that I did there. And then the usual shit starts. Bro, you're so much bigger in real life. You should wear a tank top or you should show more of your physique. I don't care, dude. In the gym, obviously, you get a pump. And since I follow a ketogenic diet, you're like kind of flat all day. But yeah, I'm pretty big. I'm pretty big. I've gone from 26% to 18% body fat, but still have a massive weight. It's around 41 inches. Feeling like even if I get the 15%, I'll look fat. Anything I can do instead of surgery to lose it, just around the waist. So unless you're a power lifter that has massive obliques and lower back, lumbar, and abs, if it's all muscle, then obviously you can't really get rid of it. But it could be intestinal mass or visceral fat. So maybe you need to fast 1 day a week. Because fasting for 1 or 2 days is the most effective way to remove visceral fat. Of course, now it's all the hype to use testosterone to reduce visceral fat. And, you know, it's been studied that it removes visceral fat. And I did a little bit of a perplexity query to see if other growth hormone secretagogues were able to reduce visceral fat. So if I remember correctly, GHRP6, GHRP2 did not remove visceral fat, or not to a noticeable extent. That's also a growth hormone secretagogue. Ipamorelin did not. And then tesamorelin and another one did remove visceral fat. And growth hormone removed visceral fat as well. But fasting also removes visceral fat, and fasting is free. So fasting, the most effective way to remove visceral fat is to fast for 2 days, eat for 1 day, and then fast for 2 days again. Now, that's a little bit too much. Obviously, if you want to go from 80% to 15%, but I think if you fast 1 day a week, you probably reduce your waist size quite a bit by the time you hit 15%. Yeah, and it's pretty doable 1 day a week. You know, unless you're a hardcore bodybuilder that needs to eat, but I've gone through periods where I fasted 1 day a week, and I know Roman Fritz has done it, and you can reduce a significant amount of visceral fat that way, and it could be intestinal mass. So if you notice that you go from 41 inches to, let's say, 36 inches or 38 inches, 3 inches down or 5 inches down, then you just have a lot of bloating, a lot of garbage in your intestinal tract. Maybe you're eating the wrong things. Maybe that's making you bloated and making your waist wider. So a food allergy test would be a good idea to do that as well. Metformin and Orlistat fun for Ohio. I'm definitely gonna need it, dude. Like, fuck, if I'm in Ohio for 3 days, like with the team, with Chase, and I'll meet you guys as well, I hope. And then I'm sure there's gonna be some dinners, right? And then the American food, dude, the portions are like gigantic and full with garbage, and I'm not gonna, you know, I'll show up lean. I won't leave lean. So I need my Orlistat and berberine and metformin and Senati and Garcinia Cambogia and whatnot. Yeah. And SLU, high dose SLU, nice and hot, nice and sweaty, you know? Yeah. Keep the furnace going. Some DNP, and then I can eat whatever the fuck I want. I enjoy seeing your videos with your little girl. I got a boy and 3 girls myself. Holy shit. 3 girls, 4 kids. Fuck, man. 2 kids. I think that's where I draw the line. I have 1 extra embryo left, so I could do 1 boy and 2 girls. My wife already is like, boy, she's ready for, but a 3rd child, she's like, I don't know, I'll be 46 by the time. But yeah, man, I wouldn't mind more kids. I think it's amazing, dude. I think it's absolutely amazing. Just to watch them grow up and interact more with the world, and, you know, making them laugh. I think it's fantastic. Yeah. Nothing gives me more joy. So very understandable. Still so cool. You have awesome machines. Thank you kindly for the time that we get on Saturday. Awesome machines. Okay. Yes. Steve needs a clone to get everything done. Yeah, I do. I do, for sure. Oh, guys, I see some of you are starting to double post. It's not necessary. It's a good way to get banned. Even if you're a member. Steve, hope all is well. Just wondering what you recommend. Ostarine at 10 milligrams. No. No, we don't do SARMs here. Use Anavar 10 milligrams per day with 10 to 200 milligrams Primo per week. You're welcome. Both. 10 milligrams Anavar per day and 100 milligrams to 200 milligrams Primo per week. Throw the Ostarine in the trash. Ostarine is for losers. Losers. No recommendations for SARMs. Yeah, I recommend you to take Anavar instead. I meant which is less toxic. I can't even remember what you asked before, bro. Oh, you want to know what is less toxic? Oh, Ostarine or Primo? Primo, man. Primo's less toxic. Ostarine just makes you a toxic little TikTok brain kid. Don't do it. 30 milligrams test E daily, 3 AU's growth hormone before bed, 2 milligrams Reta weekly, SS31, 1 milligram a day. Been waking up in the night, peeing 4 to 5 times a week, about 1 liter in total across the night, 8 to 3 p.m., 2 a.m. awake. Okay. So you're peeing a lot. Yeah, it happens. It happens. Mirabegron can increase the size of your bladder, so you pee 4 to 5 times 1 liter in total. It's like 200 milliliters. Dude, when I pee, it's like a liter. One time I sat in the back of the bus when I was traveling. I peed up full. One of these, 1.5 liters. I had to pee so bad. So I was like in this bus for 6 hours and it didn't stop. And then it got stuck in traffic about 30 minutes before to get to the bus station. I couldn't hold it anymore. I couldn't get off the street because then I had to, or off the bus, and I had to pee in the middle of the street. So I just emptied a bottle of water into the street, and I just peed it, and it came to here. I'm really proud of myself. This was in Cambodia, I think. Mirabegron relaxes the bladder by activating the beta-3 adrenergic receptors. And then you can hold more pee, but you'll still pee out 1 liter of water. Growth hormone makes you hold water. Testosterone antidote makes you hold water. And Reta and SS31 has nothing to do with it. So you could either stop drinking water at 8 o'clock, 4 hours before going to bed, or 3 hours before going to bed. You go to bed at 8:30, right? So 4 hours, 4:30, 5:30, you stop drinking water. And but otherwise, yeah, it's just part of the game, man. I pee 3 times a night. This is how it is. Thoughts on off-season low-carb diets? How much of a trade-off is there of animalism? A lot. I think you need carbs in the off-season to really grow. The best off-seasons I've had growing was with carbs. Regardless of drug stack, with carbs, it just works better. Boost your metabolism, and you can only get so much out of fat. You can't really store. So while you can store it in your fat tissue, obviously, but that has no metabolic benefit from a performance perspective. Whereas carbs do, that you can store them as glycogen, and that gives you a performance benefit too. So the best off seasons I've had was on a high carb diet, and every time I did an off season on a low carb diet, I grew, but I also got fat as fuck. And the last off-season I did was, 400 protein, 400 fats, and maybe 100 carbs. And I should have just done 1,000 carbs and 75 grams of fat. Why do you like the ketogenic diet? For cognition. That's the only reason why I do it. This is more to life than bodybuilding. I still got work to do. I need to be, like, dude, people pay me a fuckload of money. I need to be able to sit down and answer their emails, as you know, for an hour, and do that like 4 times a day. So sometimes I need to sit down. So people, when I say I don't work, it's just on the YouTube channel. It's not behind the scene where people email me and I I don't get back to them. I mean, I still answer all my emails. I still do all my consultations and all the stuff that I need to do, or that people pay an arm and a leg for, basically, because I'm not cheap. And keto works very well for that. I mean, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'll go to bed soon, obviously, but I'm still pretty cognitive, even though we had a little bit of a rough start. I guess I guess it took me a little bit of time to warm up, but now I'm okay. You know. I just like keto. It just makes my head clearer, and I'm less angry. And with the blood sugar fluctuations on a carbohydrate diet, I don't know. From the blood sugar fluctuation, I just get irritable. And with keto, I don't have that. So I'm more composed, and I'm more focused, and I just feel a better person. Yeah, and the food is more compacted, so you get more vegetables in, more calorie dense, so you don't feel so bloated. Especially on Reddit, which slows everything down. Took 50 milligrams out of our pre-workout for the past 3. Dude, you remember, you don't need to pay. But when you start spamming questions, then yeah, you need to pay on top of your membership. Because you posted like 20 questions already. Bro, slow down. There's more Q&As coming. Took 50 milligrams out of our pre-workout for the last 3 days. Haven't noticed much of anything at all. Is my VAR fake? Just not given enough time. Yeah, maybe you don't know what to look for. Give it at least 2 weeks. I would after 3 days I would be on the floor, but maybe you don't know what to recognize. So give it some more time, and otherwise, well, you know where the sources are. Is your daughter? Well, she bilingual. She might be trilingual. We only talk English and Thai right now. I might throw in a little bit of Dutch later on, but I think Holland is a dead end. Otherwise, I would be living there. There's, 17 million people, and about 14 million of them speak Dutch. Tell me you're a racist without telling me you're a racist. There's a lot of foreigners there that don't even speak Dutch, man. Jesus fucking Christ, it's terrible. But it's usually like the first generation of immigrants that came in. Their kids and their kids speak Dutch. Like I have a friend of mine, he's Turkish, and his dad and mom don't really speak English or don't speak Dutch, even though they've been living there for 30 years. And I speak more Thai than some people living in Holland speak Dutch, and I've only been here 20 years, 15 years. So we'll teach her Thai and English, and then maybe I'll throw in a little bit of Dutch later on. But I don't think it's necessary, honestly. I think Europe is on a major decline. And everybody that matters in Europe speaks English really well, and for that she can communicate perfectly well from a business perspective in English. My family members all speak English very well, or good enough, so she'll be able to communicate with them. And who speaks Dutch? You have Afrikaans, and maybe some people in the Dominican Republic speak Dutch, and that's about it. English is billions of people that you can communicate with, and Dutch is maybe 15, 16 million people. So yeah, I don't think it's necessary. Dude, but when I talk Dutch, it's fucked up. Like I went to Koh Samui, and one of my wife's friends' husband is Dutch, and he just laughed at my Dutch. He said, dude, your Dutch is so bad. I said, I know, but I never speak it. So, and I think it's not necessary, but if my daughter wants to learn it, then I'll be happy to provide, man. She'll have broken Dutch, though, because my Dutch is not that good anymore. Any long-term effects from supplementing T4? I've got another month or 2 of dieting. I'm trying to reach single-digit body fat before I do a growth phase. Do some blood work and see if it's necessary. Low TSH, low T4, low T3. That's good time to supplement some T3 in, T4 in. Assembling my AP card right now. Yeah, it's do some blood work first, man. I mean, I'm not using it either. I did my thyroid hormone panel, my TSH, reverse T3, total free T3, total free T4, and everything was arranged. So I'm like, okay, I don't need it. But I do blood work all the time. Just started a push phase, and coach has thrown in pregnenolone 100 milligrams a day. That's way too high. Drop it to 10 milligrams. I know you have videos on pregnenolone and DHA, but do you have any thoughts on 100 milligrams pregnenolone alone? Yeah, that much pregnenolone is a great way to increase your progesterone levels, which is probably not necessary as a man. So start with 10, maybe 25, and then check your progesterone levels to see where they end up. Thoughts on 5-alpha reductase inhibitors during test cycles? Might it actually improve anabolism? Yeah, I mean, they say DHT is not anabolic, but then people that inject DHT say it's mad anabolic, right? And scientific evidence on DHT, it says that it's not anabolic, so I would not risk ruining your libido for a little bit more anabolism if you can just throw in some Primo with DHT-like effects. Right, or Masteron with DHT-like effects. So, yeah. And if you do test cycles to prevent hair loss, and then using a 5-alpha reductase inhibitor to, again, prevent hair loss, yeah, I don't know, man. I think we're splitting hairs here, literally. $5 here. Papa Steve, sing me a happy birthday today. Let's hope hear those super physiological vocal cords. Happy birthday to you. Picture this. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear homie from the Vigorous crew. Happy birthday to you. Now, what is your age? That is what we want to know. How bad is it? Picture this. How old did you get? My free T3 is, and so is my TSH, is low. Okay, yeah, so then it's good to supplement with some T4 in. Can your fat placement change after losing a lot of weight for the first time? 20 pounds heavier than I was after I lost the weight, but abs are still there somehow. Yeah, fat distribution can change depending on which hormones cause the reaccumulation. So if you're estrogen dominant, it could be a lot on your chest and legs and lower, in your ass, basically. If you're insulin dominant, it mostly goes to the face and the lower back. And if it's cortisol related, then where was it? Also face to a certain extent. Yeah, maybe back. Oh man, time to stop. Dude, I didn't expect that. Thank you, 24. Hey man, it's cheaper than Cameo. And now Steve will be known to sing for $5. Hey man, you super chat it. It doesn't matter what you super chat for. I'm happy to oblige. All right, guys, I'm going to throw in the towel with that healthy birthday song. So no more super chats. Don't even try. The yawn is come, so it's time to go to bed. 2 hours and 12 minutes. I think it's long enough. All right, guys. Enjoy yourself. Happy weekend. Happy end of the January. Well, I'll be back on the 30th, so we got one more week of January left. I hope you guys had a killer start of 2026. I have. I had a holiday, and I drove a Harley-Davidson V-Rod. It was great. So see you guys next weekend. Peace out. Make sure you behave, but don't behave too much. Just do whatever Uncle Steve would do or Daddy Steve would do, and you should be okay. You should be okay at any phase in life, right? Guys, see you next weekend. Peace out, and enjoy your week to come.